A New Drug Brings Relief for the Tense and Anxious, that was written by one Lawrence Galton, an employee of the Medical and Pharmaceutical Information Bureau, which is a public relations firm. Marketed as Milltown by Wallace Laboratories and as Equinol by Wyeth, Procopionate became the best-selling drug in America within 14 months. It was succeeded in the early 1960s by the next generalization of minor tranquilizers, the benzodiazepines, sold under the trade names, Librium and Valium. And these drugs, too, rose quickly to the top of the prescription medication sales charts. As tranquilizers became the panacea for the epidemic of anxiety, advertisements for the former and articles about the latter displayed tremendous slippage between the terms anxiety, tension, and stress. A cover piece in Time magazine explained that, quote, what passes for anxiety in the U.S. is really the stress of effort in a land of ambition, competition, and challenge, unquote. One of the first medical journal advertisements from Milltown in 1955 promoted it for, quote, anxiety, tension, and mental stress, unquote. As David Herzberg observed, quote, psychoanalysts meant something quite different by anxiety than psychologists did when they spoke of stress or tension, and popular references to worry or nervousness only further clouded the picture, but all made some claim to the medical or scientific authority, unquote. With the advent of the minor tranquilizers, the legitimacy of the medical diagnosis was further validated by the pharmaceutical prescription. Consumers appreciated both the validation of their complaints, no matter what name was given to them, and the ease of popping pills as a solution. Within 2 decades, however, America's infatuation with the tranquilizer ended. Tales of addiction, especially among middle-class women, turned popular opinion against Valium and the other anxiolytics. This term was part of a broader panic about illicit and illicit drugs that swept American society in the 1970s. Prescriptions for Valium dropped dramatically as tranquilizers lost their one-D drug status. But in the midst of this decline, another transition was taking place as diagnoses for anxiety began to be replaced by diagnoses for depression. In the words of psychologist Leslie Barber, the age of anxiety became the age of depression. Now, for the first 2/3 of the 20th century, depression, which was known as melancholia, was considered to be a serious mental illness, often treated by electroshock therapy. A number of factors contributed to the reassessment of depression as a disease in the 1960s and early 1970s. Psychiatrists looking to get away from Freudian categories of neurosis and psychosis, as well as expensive and time-consuming practice of psychoanalysis, began to diagnose patients with mild depression instead of anxiety, and to offer less time-intensive psychotherapies as treatment. These doctors regarded mild depression not as a symptom of anxiety, but as an illness in itself. Although the tricyclic and monoamine oxidase inhibitor, the MAOI, categories of antidepressant drugs had already been discovered and approved for sale in the late 1950s, they were not often prescribed in the setting of the doctor's office because mild depression had not yet taken over from anxiety, which was treated by the then blockbuster minor tranquilizer drugs. The turning point came in 1972 when Senator Thomas Eagleton, the Democratic candidate for vice president, was forced to admit that he had been treated with electroshock therapy in the 1960s. While this confession of mental illness caused him a seat on the Democratic ticket, it also brought depression into the public eye and gave advocates the chance to lobby for recognition of milder forms of the condition. Manufacturers of antidepressants took this opportunity to aggressively market the drugs, advertising them for the same symptoms as those for which the minor tranquilizers had been prescribed. This campaign influenced physicians' assessments of patients' conditions. By 1975, diagnoses for depression had outstripped diagnoses for anxiety. And the constellation of symptoms indicated that antidepressant drug therapy bore a marked similarity to those used to describe neurasthenia in the 1880s or nervous breakdown in the 1930s. Tension, tiredness, insomnia, loss of appetite, decreased sex drive, lack of concentration, inability to make decisions, headaches, and digestive problems. Indeed, as David Herzberg observed, depression came to inherit and in some ways transformed the nervous illness tradition in the 1970s. The transformation came in the manner of treatment. Unlike its forebears, depression necessitated medication. The pharmaceuticalization, if that is a word, of depression went hand in hand with physiological explanations of the etiology of the disease. By 1980, according to historian Laura Hirschbein, depression was understood as a chemical imbalance in the brain, and this explanation was in wide use in the American popular press. Treatment of depression was portrayed as a simple equation. Depression depressed individuals had a deficiency of neurotransmitters, and antidepressant drugs corrected that deficiency. Once the neurotransmitter balance was equilibrated, patients would feel better. This rationale performed important intellectual work in the acceptance of depression by giving a physical basis to this mental illness. The prescription of drugs to treat depression would become even more prevalent in the late 1980s and 1990s with the advent of the next generation of antidepressants, the SSRIs, such as Prozac. The framing of depression as a physical disease in and of itself clarified its relationship to stress. Namely, depression was one of the chronic diseases to which stress might be a contributing factor. The territories occupied by depression on the one hand and stress on the other shared blurred and shifting boundaries in the 1960s and 70s. Advertisements for antidepressants in the late 1960s, for example, could easily be interpreted as a drug therapy for stress. Consider the text of an ad for Triadil, which warned that personal or financial breakups, indeed, quote, any significant loss or severe blow to self-esteem, unquote, could mean danger. The notion that social pressure could lead to psychic effects that could lead to illness certainly characterized medical and popular conceptions of stress. But as the understanding of depression crystallized into a more physically defined entity, namely the chemical imbalance in the brain, it moved into the more clearly defined space of a chronic disease that could be managed with pharmaceutical therapy. In this way, depression was akin to hypertension. Both were somatic pathologies, both could be brought on by stress. Now, hypotheses about stress as a risk factor for hypertension and other chronic diseases hardened into axioms starting in the 1950s. Discussions about the relationship between stress, disease, and modern life continued apace in both medical and popular writing after World War II. In 1955, for example, William P. Shepard, Vice President for Health and Welfare at the Metropolitan Life Insurance Company, asked in an article in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society, quote, does the modern pace really kill, unquote. In comparing death rates between 1930 and 1955, he noted that overall mortality for white males over 45 had declined, but that this group was now 5 times more likely to die from coronary artery disease or angina pectoris. Shepard believed that certain individuals were more susceptible to stress. It was the job of upper management and industrial physicians to work together to ensure the mental and physical health of business executives. Some physicians bypassed their colleagues and took their message directly to the public. A large advertisement in the New York Times promoted Dr. Max Wormbrand's book called Add Years to Your Heart, which promised to answer the question, quote, how does stress, worry, emotion affect us, unquote, and to advise readers, quote, how to keep your heart strong and healthy in this age of tension and frustration, unquote. An ad for Kurt S. Wachtell, MD's book, Your Mind Can Make You Sick or Well, encouraged readers to purchase the book to learn, quote, simple psychomechanisms that free you forever from nerves and exhaustion, how to get rid of stress and strain, how to erect natural barriers against more than 30 diseases and ailments, including hypertension, insomnia, ulcers, and many others ranging from the common cold to heart disease, unquote. Books like these reinforce popular notions of the interplay between mind and body. Journalists followed closely the developments in the relationship between the stress of modern life and the rise in heart disease in the 1950s and early 1960s. Headlines such as Rise in Heart Cases Seen, Stresses of Modern Living Cited at Leading Here, and Heart Affliction Linked to Stress, Stress at Work in U.S. Culture Cited as Cause of Heart Disease, Go-Getters Beware, and The Cost of Getting Ahead made it clear that the emotional stress of overwork could produce physical sickness in the form of heart disease. This correlation received further support from the work of 2 San Francisco cardiologists, Meyer Friedman and Ray H. Rosenberg. Starting in the late 1950s, they turned their attention to the personalities and behavior patterns of their coronary patients. They found that men who showed, quote, an intense, sustained drive for achievement, who were continually involved in competition and deadlines, both at work and in their avocations, unquote, demonstrated a higher incidence of coronary artery disease. These men in Group A, as compared to the control groups B and C, displayed what came to be known as the Type A personality. In 1974, Friedman and Rosenberg wrote a popular book, Type A Behavior and Your Heart. In describing how they came to focus on personality as a risk factor for cardiovascular disease, they credited a layperson, the female president of the San Francisco Junior League, with pointing them in the right direction. They had been citing